The untold story of Albert Einstein's son. His name is Hans Albert Einstein. Most of us might not have heard about him. He was brilliant just like his father. But Albert Einstein despised his son. He felt disgusted with him. But why? Why did Albert feel such for his son? In 1904, Mileva Marique gave birth to Albert's second child, Hans. Hans had a rough childhood. His parents separated when he was just 10. Even though Hans stayed with his mother after the divorce, he used to communicate with his father via letters. The relationship between the father and son was not so bad at that time. Albert used to send his son geometry problems via letters. He even used to write to Hans about his discoveries and studies. As Hans grew up, he studied at ETH Zurich, the same university where his father had studied. But Einstein was angry with his son's choice. Hans had chosen civil engineering as his career. That's when the relationship between the father and son had its first crack. Einstein felt his son was ruining his life by choosing civil engineering. But Hans had made up his mind and he followed his heart. This was just the start of the feud between the father and son. In 1927, Hans married Frieda Knecht, a woman who was 9 years older than her. Albert hated his daughter-in-law. He felt his son deserved a better woman. Albert even advised his son to not have any children with her. Hans was shocked by his father's words. That's when the father and son stopped talking. Hans followed his heart, and he went on to have 3 children with Frieda. Despite the feud between the father and son, Einstein loved his grandchildren. Everything was going well for Hans. He even earned a doctorate in his field. Hans had worked in the Department of Agriculture for 9 years. In 1947, he got a job at the University of California. But still, his relationship with his father still had a crack in it. Soon, Hans lost 2 of his children. Even though Albert despised his son, he was there to give Hans the mental support he needed. After the death of the 2 grandchildren, Albert and Hans started to bond again. In his last days, Albert spent most of his time with Hans. Albert passed away in 1955. Just 3 years later, Frieda passed away. Even though Hans married another woman in 1959, he didn't have any more children. In 1973, Hans left the world at the age of 69. Even though Hans didn't achieve as much as his father, he had his fair share of success and awards. In 1988, AS created the Hans Albert Einstein Award in his memory.